Hey, this is Carter Conlon. Welcome to my morning. I have a funny story to tell you. A couple of days ago, my little granddaughter is here with us, and she's the one that we have the ponies for. And she just loves her ponies every day and all the animals that are here. So we were taking Chui, the cat, to the vet. And we were out early in the morning, and we had breakfast together and stuff. And so I said to her, I said, you haven't even talked to me yet today. What's the reason why you haven't talked to me? I said, you haven't even said boo. She turned to me and looked at me and she said, with a smile, she said, boo-hoo. So we both burst out laughing, and I realized, sometimes in the morning there's no need to talk to one another. Just to have each other's company is good enough. And that interaction reminded me of Psalm 22, where David says, my God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from helping me and from the words of my groaning? Oh my God, he said, I cry in the daytime, but you do not hear, and in the night season, I'm not silent. He said, in other words, David is saying, God, why are you not talking to me? Why are you not comforting me? I know you're my God, and I know that you've spoken great promises over my life and such like, but Lord, you just seem to be so silent. I don't know anybody out there, have you ever felt that way lately, that God is just silent? He's not speaking to you. You're spending time with him in the morning. You're reading his word. You're tuning into devotions like this one, and you just feel like, God, where are you? It seems like you're not speaking to me. Why are you not speaking to me? And David goes on, he says, our fathers trusted in you in Psalm 22, verse 4. They trusted and you delivered them. They cried to you and they were delivered. They trusted in you and they were not ashamed. But I am a worm and no man, a reproach of men, despised by the people. All who see me ridicule me. They shoot out the lips saying, he trusted in the Lord. Let him rescue him. Let him deliver him since he delights in him. Like it's all these voices rise up. God's not speaking to anymore. He must have found some secret flaw in you. He must be disappointed in you. Has it ever occurred to any of us that the Lord just likes to come down and spend time with us, and quite often no words are necessary? That's some of the most wonderful fellowship. Years and years and years ago, I was speaking on an Indian reserve in Canada, and in the morning, I heard commotion in the living room, and I got up and I went into the living room, and there's about four, the native Canadians sitting there. And so I got up and I started putting on coffee, and I started talking a mile a minute as we're prone to do. And none of them were speaking back to me. None of them were saying anything. And they must have wondered, why is this guy never quiet? But you see, it's our assumption that fellowship always involves conversation. But in their culture, they told me later on, fellowship just means that we're just come and sit with you. And just by our presence, we're saying we love you, we care, we're with you. If you need something from us in the future, we'll be there to help you. We don't require words, and it's so funny. They must have been looking at me wondering, why does this guy not stop talking? Doesn't he realize we've just come here for fellowship? And aren't we like that in prayer so many times? We just talk, like I'm doing this morning to God. And he's seemingly not answering us, but he's right there. He has never left us. He has never forsaken us. And David goes through all of Psalm 22, and he talks about how strength is poured out. I'm at the dust of death. I'm surrounded. The wicked have enclosed me. They stare at me. They're parting my, like in other words, they're already dividing the spoil after my demise. Of course, we realize that David was having a premonition, or not a premonition, but he was having an understanding of what the cross was going to be, because these words were going to be quoted later on by Christ on the cross. But then he says, but you, Lord, don't be far from me. Oh, my strength, verse 19, hasten to help me. Deliver me from the sword, my precious life from the power of the dog. Save me from the lion's mouth and from the horns of the wild oxen. Then at the end of verse 21, it's almost like David has a revelation. He says, you have answered me. In other words, you don't have to speak again. You've already spoken. You already told me that I was going to be the next king of Israel. You already told me that no weapon formed against me is going to prosper. You've already made me exceeding great and precious promises. And you told me that by these, for you and I in the New Testament, that we'll be partakers of this new divine life that is now ours through Jesus Christ. And yet we get up and we want God to repeat it. It's almost like he doesn't have to repeat himself. When he said, "Let there be light," light was. He didn't have to say it twice. He's already spoken to us. It's all here. It's all in the Word of God. Everything you need is right here. He doesn't have to repeat it. It doesn't have to be an audible voice. He's already given you these great and exceeding promises. And so maybe God, with humor today, would look at you and I when we say, "Why haven't you spoken to me? You haven't even said boo." And he looks at us and says, "Boo-hoo." This is Carter Conlon. And I'm trusting that my morning will make your day. God bless you.